Hello and welcome. This is Sadusman. In today's video, I'm going to share the basic concept and different applications of the new XLOOKUP formula, which is all set to replace the widely used VLOOKUP formula. Back in our accounting days, when we learned the traditional VLOOKUP, we thought of ourselves as advanced Excel users. Back in those days, it was quite true to say that there are two kinds of people in the world. One who can do a VLOOKUP with their eyes closed, and everyone else. Now the world has changed a lot with the introduction of this new XLOOKUP formula. This formula is essentially a VLOOKUP with many additional features. So let's get started. To start with, let's have a look at the syntax of the formula. It has got three mandatory arguments and three optional ones. The lookup value is the value for which you want a result for. The lookup array is where your lookup value lies. The return array, as the name suggests, is where your result lies. The fourth argument is optional. It would help us avoid the use of if error, as it specifies a value in case of an error. The fifth argument refers to a match mode. By default, the match mode is exact match, unlike VLOOKUP, where it was approximate match. The last argument refers to the search mode, which allows us to search a value either from top or bottom, unlike VLOOKUP, which only searches from the top of the lookup table. We have got 9 different examples of application of XLOOKUP formula. In this video, we are going to cover 4 examples, but in a later video, we are going to cover the remaining 5 examples. So let's get started. We have a data in which the sales of certain products along with their sales channel, sales values, gross margin and gross margin percentages are available. What we want to do is, we would like to select the product from this drop-down list and we want to have this sales value and gross margin percentage. So let's apply the formula first and then we can discuss. We will write XL tab, the lookup value is cherries. We will go to the lookup table. In case of lookup array, we would like to have this column where the product names are available. We'll select from B11 to B20. The return array is the area where my answer lies, which is the sales column. I will select the sales, C11 to C20, and for the moment I'm done with the 3 mandatory arguments. So let's press enter. So you see 263,324 is the value of cherries. This is the cherries over here. And if I want to get the gross margin, let's apply XLOOKUP again. Cherries. My lookup array is products. My return array is gross margins. Bracket close and enter. So you see 15% is the gross margin for cherries. We could have done the same thing with a VLOOKUP as well. Let's see how it's done. In case of VLOOKUP, we look up values grapes in this case. In this case, we would like to have the entire table selected, and the column index number in our case would be 2 because we want to have the sales values and we are looking at an exact match. If I press enter, let's keep it cherries for the moment so we have the same answer, and let me copy the formula here on the right side and let's change the column index number from 2 to 3, or rather 4. So we get the same 15%. So it was the traditional way of doing a VLOOKUP, looking up a values from a table. The new and advanced formula is XLOOKUP. The XLOOKUP has got various benefits over VLOOKUP. Let's discuss the first one of them. In VLOOKUP, we cannot look up to the left of the lookup value. In case of XLOOKUP, we can look to the right, to the left, as we want. Let's apply the formula. Bananas. My lookup value, lookup array is B11 to B20. My return array is this, and I can press enter. I have the value for sales, and now if I want to look up the channel for bananas, in this case my lookup array is the same, products, but this time my return array is on the left of my lookup array, which is the channel. So in this case, I'm going to select channel here, bracket close. This is a very beautiful feature of XLOOKUP, it can help you look up to the left of the lookup array. What will happen if my lookup value is not available? So traditionally we have been using if error in combination with VLOOKUP, but this time in XLOOKUP we don't need to do that. Let's see how XLOOKUP handles the errors. XLOOKUP, watermelon is not available in my list, so let's see what happens. My lookup array is B11 to B20 and I'm looking for sales, and I will lock H19 as well. And in this case, if not found, I can mention, say, not found. Now bracket close. So you see, not found, not found. So in this case, we don't have. Let me change this to A, which refers to the channel. So we don't have a sales channel available, we don't have the sales value for watermelon. So it's, in this case it says not found. One additional feature which XLOOKUP formula has, which VLOOKUP did not have, was is to find the last occurrence of a lookup value in the table array. In this case, let's apply and then we can discuss. For example, in our case, we don't have this is a distinct list of values. Let me just copy one entry over here and let's change it to some other value. For instance, if I want to find, let's say, peaches, XLOOKUP peaches, and the lookup array, let's lock it up, and for sales, if I just close the formula here and press enter, I will get the first value of peaches, which is 266,500. If I want to have the last occurrence in my answer, then I will have to modify the formula, and in this case I'm going to skip the if not found option because it's optional. The match mode right now is exact match, which is okay. I'm looking at exact match. The search mode is by default it's first to last. If I use the next option, which is -1, refers to searching from last to the first. In this case, XLOOKUP will search the value from the bottom. In this case, we'll have our desired answer of 100,000. So this last occurrence feature was not available in VLOOKUP. It's a great new addition in XLOOKUP formula. Let's go to the next example. Then the next example refers to horizontal lookup. XLOOKUP is both a vertical lookup as well as an HLOOKUP. We used to perform horizontal lookup in case where the table was in the horizontal fashion. In this case, let's apply the formula HLOOKUP first to see how it was done before. I want to look up the value of sales in the month of June. In this case, my lookup value is A15. My table array starts from row number 10, extends to row number 11, and my row index number is 2, and I'm looking at an exact match. So in this case, I get 64,200. If I use the formula XLOOKUP and get the same result, I can look up Excel tab. My lookup value is June, which is in A17. My lookup array is row number 10. My return array is row number 11. I don't need to specify anything else. I will close the parenthesis and press enter. I get the same result of like HLOOKUP. XLOOKUP can perform a vertical lookup. It can also perform a horizontal lookup. The next example refers to an approximate match. Let's see how it's done. We have a table here which is refers to different quantities and the discount which is offered on purchase of those quantities. So it says basically if the quantity is 101 or more, the discount is nothing. If the quantity is 1001 or more, the discount is 1%, and so on. This table is arranged in ascending order. In case of XLOOKUP, let's first delete the formulas here. We see that the value is below the minimum value available in the table. Let's see how XLOOKUP handles that. We see the lookup value is 85. The lookup array is column A, A12 to A18. My return array is column B, B12 to B18. In this case, if I don't do anything else, by default you remember the search mode was an exact match. So I get an NA because exactly this value is not available in my table. So what will I need to do to convert it into an approximate match? So I'll have to go to match mode, and in this case I'm going to use the -1, the exact match on next smaller item. If I press enter, again it's an NA because the value is below the minimum value of available at the table. But if I use the formula and copy it exactly down to the next example, in this case we have an exact match in the table of 1001, so we get the required answer 1%. If I copy the formula yet again to not an exact value, 4200, which is not there, but it's definitely above 4001, so the approximate value for this discount is 3%. So in this case you can see that we have the answer is 3%. What will happen if my result of my lookup value is more than the highest value in the table? If I copy the formula, it is giving me the right answer of 6%. It is working exactly in the same fashion as VLOOKUP does. If I apply the VLOOKUP here, for example, VLOOKUP 85 and use the same approximate 1, we get an NA, we get 1%, 3% and 6%. So exactly it's working in the same fashion as VLOOKUP. So there's no change. But in case of VLOOKUP, we need to have the table in the ascending order. But what will happen if we have a table in a mixed fashion, a mixed order? We have the values all mixed up and not in any particular order. So what will happen if I apply the formula again? XLOOKUP 2600, lookup array, my return array, and in this case I'm going to use my match mode. It's not exact match, but it's -1, bracket close and enter. It's 2%. Let's see, 2600, it should apply here. Yeah, so the value is either 2500 or more than that. It's 2%. So we are getting the correct answer here. So what will happen if I apply the same VLOOKUP formula over here? Let's see. VLOOKUP 2600, table array, second column, approximate match. My answer says 1%, which is obviously not right. So this is how VLOOKUP will fail over here, whereas XLOOKUP will perform beautifully. Next is an example where my table is in the descending order. In this case, what we want to say is that, for example, when the quantity is up to 12,000, the discount will be 6%. If the quantity purchase is up to 10,000, the discount will be 5%, and so on. So we are specifying the maximum value for which a discount is applicable. So in this case, VLOOKUP is not going to work. Let's use the formula XLOOKUP here, 4200. In this case, my lookup array is column A, my return array is column B, and this I will skip the if not found part. The match mode is, in this case, since we have the table in the descending order, we are going to use the third option, which is exact match or the next larger item. So we use a +1, bracket close, enter, 3%. So you can see that 4200 would lie here, but because the quantity sold is, if it is up to 6000, the discount is 3%, and if it is up to 4000, the discount is 2%. So 4200 is between 4000 and 6000, the applicable discount will be 3%. We can use an alternate method, index. Let's apply index formula here. Traditionally we have been doing this. If I apply index F4 and I want to use match this value 4200 in this column A, and in this case I have again three options: less than, exact match, and greater than. I'm going to use greater than, bracket close for match and bracket close for index. I get the same answer. So we could have done that using index and match feature as well, but now XLOOKUP is here, we can do that. So it depends whatever you choose. So this is how an approximate match would work in with XLOOKUP. Going to the next example, if we have a two-way match, if we have a two-dimensional table, what is going to happen with that? So in this case we have product, let's say oranges, and customer is Dell. Our value should be, our answer should be 214,709. Let's apply the formula XLOOKUP here, and let's see how it's done if you want to have a two-way lookup. First of all, we are going to do a vertical lookup, which is applicable for products. So we'll look up values H11 for oranges. The lookup array is A11 to A21. We will lock this range. For return array, we don't know whether the column B, C, D, E, or F would be applicable, so we would like to make it dynamic. We would like to apply another XLOOKUP here, and in this case, the lookup value is the customer name I11, which is Dell. And now this time the lookup array is my headings, the customer names, which is P10 to F10, and my return array would be the entire range, which is P11 to F21. And I will close the parenthesis for return array, and I will close the parenthesis for my XLOOKUP, the first one, and if I press enter, I get 214,709. Let's see what's going on behind the formula. If I were to select this second XLOOKUP and press F9, I will see a value which is which refers to the column Dell, 243,810, 235,115, and so on. So the second XLOOKUP gives me an appropriate column from which I can look up my product value. So this is how XLOOKUP finds the column. So we can apply two XLOOKUPs here. Another method in this case would be to apply the index and match formula. Let's apply index. In this case, we have been using the traditional combo of index and match. I will use index first, then match mangoes. I'll look up the mangoes in column A, comma 0 for exact match. Another match for customer Dell. In this case, I have my column headings in row number 10, F4, comma 0, bracket close for match, and bracket close for index. We have, let's use oranges again to compare our answer, the same answer, 214,709. This formula can be shortened a little bit by using the XMatch feature, which has been introduced recently. Let's apply index again, and in index we use the same range, and in case of match, we are going to now apply XMatch. In XMatch, we don't need to specify match mode. In this case, the match mode is exact match by default. So the lookup value is product. Column A is the lookup array, F4, and I don't need to specify the match mode or the search mode. I will close the bracket for XMatch 1, and then XMatch again for customer. My lookup array is row number 10, bracket close for XMatch and bracket close for index, and I get, let's say, oranges, select oranges and Dell again. We get the same answer for using index and XMatch. We could use the same formula, XMatch, with in combination with VLOOKUP. So let's see how it's done. VLOOKUP, we are going to look up first of all the product, and I'm going to use the entire range as my table. Lock it up. My column index number will come from XMatch. I'm going to use XMatch. My lookup value is customer Google, and in this case I'm going to, instead of starting from this column, I'm going to start from column number A, because it will give me the appropriate column index number. So this bracket close for XMatch, and I need an exact match for VLOOKUP, so I'm going to use a 0 at the end. and enter, and I'm going to change my selection to oranges and del, and now you can see that we have got the same answer. So we could have used index with match, index with XMatch, or a VLOOKUP with XMatch to get the same result, and we can use XLOOKUP as well to get the answer. So it depends really upon your preference. So guys, we have covered 5 different examples of XLOOKUP in this video. In subsequent video, I'm going to share the remaining 4 examples. So I hope you would have enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.